thanks for staying with us. So the United Nations have ranked Nigeria as the lowest in the world in the areas of allocating elective and leadership positions to women. So our conversation and our question today is it time for a female president, especially because there is this uncertainty about what's going to happen in 2023. Some are asking for deregulation. Some are saying we need a restructuring. Some are saying it is time for us to put aside the big two parties and look for an alternative. Others are saying that maybe it's time for us to even consider a woman, because we've seen other countries who have elected women as presidents thrive in the economy, in the international relations, and other sectors. So we're asking today, do we Nigerians think we should start thinking about a female representative, a female leader for this country? What are your thoughts? You can call us on the numbers available, 081-270-53687, 091-390-76948. You can also send us messages on Facebook and YouTube. We'll be happy to read your messages. So, I mean, I don't know who would like to go first. I don't want to always use the gender card, but we will be biased today because we're talking gender. So it's like, okay, what are those attributes a woman may have that a man will not have, that we think we need Nigeria today? Or do you think it's not just quite the time?
So, so I don't believe that there's anything biased in that question. There's no bias in that question. The entire world has almost an equal share in terms of population of male and female. And in Nigeria, it's almost around that same percentage, where we have 50-50, almost around 50-50% of male and female. And so far, since our independence and our creation as a nation, since when we were brought together, it's always been, our affairs have been managed by men. And we've seen how things have gone. It is insanity to keep trying the same thing over and over again and not even consider the option of, can we try something else? Because how long do we want to continue with this option? Also, in the past 10 years, there's been a positive track record of successful female-led administrations around the world. So I think that this is a conversation worth having. And the beclouding of bias should not even come into it at all. It should be based on merits. And can we have a woman bring better management structure into what is going on in Nigeria? It is possible. So do we have women that qualify? Of course. Are they willing to contest? I am sure. But the landscape has not given them any chance at all so far.
Let me hear initial thoughts. Yeah.
The analysis by the UN representative for women is extremely, very, very correct. But the fact is that Nigerian politics, the way it is, for someone who thinks about it every time, I don't think it will favor any right-thinking woman with integrity. You come in, you have parties and other people playing at or against your government. We've had instances where every administration comes and says that the crisis that they are going through is by opposition. That cannot be without an iota of truth. You have people, until the Nigerian people want to change their ways, their situation, so they change their ways. When people can call out evil for what it is and call out truth accept truth for what it is, we will continue to do this. Whenever you're in the circle of politics and you run and you do sycophancy around whoever is in office so that you get favors, you create situation in regions so that your region is the focus of the news. This is how we continue to be. So no matter how, this is not for lack of such women. Already we have one sitting at the World Trade Center organization heading it. So this is not for lack of such women. Even though Nigerians would like to say, you know, women in leadership in the past are facing criminal trials that we cannot even fathom how much they siphon. But we've had women who had integrity go through offices, do excellently well. And it's not for lack of that. It's just the Nigerian way of thinking and doing things.
The current system.
Yes, I think also culturally there have been things that have stopped women from pushing. you know, when you hear our stories, there've always been women in the background, pushing, fighting, and putting a man on the platform, you know. We are the foot soldiers running around. They understand that we have the numbers, they, you know, find women leaders to gather us together and chant all sorts of political whatever.
We know all the songs.
Where shall it be?
Yes, where shall it be? We talk to people. We're the ones that are in the homes. We are the grassroots.
Yes.
Do you understand? But culturally also, we Nigerian women have always seen that the man should be a leader. The man is the one that can lead. And sometimes you say a woman will go into a place. She doesn't get the respect that a man just walking into the place. This is a woman, well-qualified woman, will not get the respect that a man just walking into the space will get. But recently, definitely, there's been a change in mindset, in our mindset, especially as we see in the private organizations where women are doing so well. You know, they're flying the colors of whatever positions it is that they've carried. And they're doing this. We have 10 years, 20 years on them, 25 years on them. And I feel that we can now take that same energy and move it into politics, into elective offices. It's important that women occupy these spaces, especially now that more women are getting educated, getting more exposed. There's a boldness. We now understand that we can do it. And now we're even having the conversation that I can even do it better than you. Women have some natural skills. We can't not take that away from them. The organization, and the fact that I talked about being grassroots, being household, understanding how it runs, understanding where it pinches, I think it will do our country a lot of good. But firstly, women also need to understand we can start in this small place. I want us to be in almost in every level of government, so that presidential one will be just so easy to walk into. Right. Yes.
Let me go on a quick break because I want us to expand this conversation to see what are those specific attributes women do have that I think might actually become crucial if we're going to move Nigeria forward. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're discussing women. Should we begin to think about women leaders for Nigeria, especially as the helmsman for presidency? I have a caller, Professor Odejaye from LASU. Good morning, sir. Are you there?
Yeah, Odewumi, I'm here.
Okay, you're live. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. First of all, you are not around when I came to the studio.
Yes.
I sympathize with you on the loss of your mom.
Thank you, sir.
May the good Lord wake her up into joyful activity.
Amen.
On the topic today, there is one word. It is affirmative action. It's not what you will say. It is what you will do. Every country like Rwanda, like Namibia, like South Africa that has attained 50 to 60% women participation is by affirmation. There must be a rule if you really want to get it right and get it fast. If you go by the present situation, we will never get there in our lifetime. There must be a law that says every position, at least let's start with minimum of 10 to 20%. And the women should organize because they are the wife of Mr. President, wife of Mr. Governor, wife of the Senate, wife of the entire rep. Let women organize for heaven's sake and push it on their husband. Let's start with 10%. See what Rwanda has become. Rwanda has become the best country in Africa now because women are more than about 50%. And you ask the question, what are the special qualities of women? I'm not saying this, I could defend any of the points. Let me tell you, women have natural sense of care. Nature prepared them for that. Women have tact because they know when to get something, how to get it without ruffling feathers.
Yes.
Women have sense of sacrifice. They can die for their kids. They can die. So it's a natural instinct to them. And women have subterfuge. They can change color a bit for a purpose. So these are natural instincts that are not available to men. And in the world of development today, we normally say that the more diverse your management, your leadership is, even diversity in age, diversity in tribe, in the university we are now saying you can't be a world-class university until you have other students from elsewhere, Other lecturers from elsewhere, you cannot just having academic incest, first degree, second degree, all your students are the same that you are turning out, and the lecturers are the same. So that is my point.
Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you so
women
much.
have special.
Thank you very much. So, I mean,
did you hear all that?
Yeah.
All the things that we can do. We're superheroes.
So I mean, even in my own role as a leader, you know, I've had to let go of friends where you have to have that hard face, where I'm giving friends query. You're my friend, I will party with you, I'll talk to you, but I'll give you a query.
I've got a query.
So, but we will still gist afterwards because
Yeah.
I can switch.
Yeah.
So a lot of men don't have that capacity because you're my boy now, I had that thing, you shouldn't have done that. That contract, you should have please now, you know, there's a way you now do it where your boy gets
And if they don't send you, and they will just...
you're not that boy, you're not that boy. But a woman can still be your girl, but I'll still have to bring the stick on you if I have to. So those are some of those attributes I'm talking about that we have it naturally.
So I wanted to quote...
Come to you, Nima. Yes.
I wanted to quote Oloyake Alabi, a House of Rep member, that he posted this a few days back. He said, if you are looking for strong allies in politics, choose women. And it buttresses what Mariam said earlier. It is something that we must not overlook. Women are the bedrock of Nigerian politics. They've always been and they would always be. Nobody wins elections in this country without talking to the women. The market women, the associations, they are the women that canvass and bring the votes. They are the ones that do all of that. And so I like what our professor said. It is in our action. We mustn't just, we've been saying these things subtle. And I love what Elective is doing. I've been a huge fan of the works that is going on that platform, which is to provide support for women to contest. If you cannot have it if you don't think it is possible. And one of the biggest things they've done to us in Nigeria, and that's how they change, they lock you up, is by making you think it is not possible. So everybody sits and thinks it is not possible. Most people you talk to, they'll believe, I want to, but that place is so dirty. They're not serious. They will compromise my value and all of that. But as long as you think that way, you will not aspire for it, and they have already won because you continue to think you can just support from behind. It is not enough.
So there's, when Maria asked earlier that what should women start to look out for, what attributes should they start to learn? I wanted to jump on it because there's no attributes that the women that you or the last caller mentioned, or people that any person, gender-wise, cannot have. There's a peculiarity to this country called Nigeria. You have to be able to set your own standards and live by that standards. Failure to do that, you'll be found answerable or questionable to anything that you have compromised for. Anybody can compromise. And that's why we're here. Every Nigerian, when it comes to their turn, wants it better. Just be nicer, lenient, you know? And anybody can play into that gallery. You can be a politician and say, okay, let me just let go this one and make this one.
Yes.
Maybe be diplomatic, and then he comes back at you because Nigerians will use whatever. So you have to have women, and we know women already in management are doing amazingly. Women in politics are still struggling and playing politics the way it is being played. So we have to set a standard for how we want politics to be played.
But they will chase you out. Let me take Hassan. Hassan, are you there? It's been holding for a while.
Good morning, Morales.
Good morning. You're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, the panel members. Let me be very, very frank with ourselves. Women have been in charge right from the Babangida era. The only break we have is Israel Buhari's regime. Women have been in charge. Most of the policies we see were taken in the bedrooms. The president will come and implement it in the morning. We knew. So if that issue of the woman trying to be in charge now, they have already been in charge. Even those when you are looking, the professor is looking at books. It reminds me of the last when he said, "Teacher, don't teach me nonsense." When you look at books, use your sense. That professor is looking at books. It's not looking at the reality on the ground. Women have been in charge right from Babangida. We knew. So all this issue of youth rep put the Okonjo-Iweala, what I do. This is the same Okonjo-Iweala was the same woman. They have brought minors. They have took the pension fund. The same woman that mismanaged the economy during the time of Goodluck Jonathan. So what are we talking about?
All right. Thank you, Hassan, for your view.
Yeah. Okay, so for me, I would like us to address some of the things that women are being told to sort of stop them from pushing forward. You see this women don't support women thing. I think it's being used to weaken us and, you know, make us feel like we're not strong enough or we're not united enough to push for what we want. Men too do not, if we're talking about not supporting, men too do not support men. Yes. Because when a man comes out to run for office, other men come out against him or with him, you know, to compete. But when a woman does that, they'll be like, oh, your own fellow woman is coming and you people are. Because women should not just be seen as one person. So a woman's seat is not just one seat. We can have various seats and we can compete for those seats. Another woman coming out is not saying, I'm not supporting you. He's saying, I feel I have something as well that I can give. And if the Nigerian people can choose amongst 5 of us or 10 of us, you know, that's fair. That is, that's healthier. One thing I've always said I don't like is for them to give us a ticket or give us a seat. And so what happens is when you give us that seat, then we are now forever grateful to you. So that it comes to a point where you are promised a seat and then all of a sudden a nephew of the party chairman or someone comes from nowhere and they say, please, auntie, just shift. But you cannot stand up for your right because, first of all, you feel grateful that they had given you that. You don't feel that you deserved it. So women need to understand that it's okay to come out and compete with each other. It's healthy, and then it allows people to be able to choose amongst so many of us. And there's another thing where they always tell us, oh, it's night meetings. Women don't go for night meetings. But when they call us to campaign and galvanize, it's during the day. That's where our power is. And then because we know that we have that power, then we can determine also the time that we will have those meetings. If they don't have those meetings at the time that we can participate, then maybe they do not want our participation. We need to understand how important we are in every party and in getting every elective office.
All right, we're going to go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll take more tweets and calls. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing women leadership, and I think Hassan had called earlier talking about the fact that we're already in power now. Are we not influencing the men that are in power?
He added that except this...
except that Aisha Buhari, with this administration, where we know that she's not influencing the president. But do you agree?
So I totally don't agree. I don't believe that the subtle influence, the subtle, oh, we are behind the scene, is not what we need. Because what we have realized is that unless you are the person, you are the king, you are the president, there are some decisions, no matter how you canvass, as a minister, you cannot make it happen. Even governors are like, we are not the president, we cannot make this happen. It is being in power. If you can be around power, until you are in power, you don't have power. So I think that we should stop coloring it and making it look like women are already influencing. There is no way the law would favor a woman in this country. When you have 7 people among 109, like I don't understand. How can the senator, our Senate is 109 representing this population and only 7 are women. And among over 300, we have 22 women. It is definitely skewed in a way that does not favor us. And we need to speak, to ask. People need to support.
Imagine Patience Jonathan was our president. Yes.
You will not like her, but she would do what
I think she'll be aggressive. But she's the kind. I'm talking about who do we know that is aggressive enough for this Nigeria? Because Nigeria doesn't need a lackadaisical leadership. We need somebody who can take the bull by the horn.
No, we do. We do need the British.
I do need it. It's not just that British aggression that we need.
But you can now get the other supporting.
You know, she's had properties forfeited. I still maintain that, like the present Minister for Finance, I have a problem. And budget and planning, I have a problem with. I think that she's not assertive enough about setting policies. You can't just be comfortable when the whole world, you have economists like yourself complain about a method of finding funds. You can't be borrow.
And I've heard her speak. I know she's extremely cerebral.
So you insist on other methods. You know, you can reach an agreement, and for every of those agreements of loan that you get, ensure that it is providing employment for your people. At least do something that gives. That's how women are. If you had an Okoje, well, I'm not comparing loosely now. there. You're able to, someone who would listen to other people saying we are too much in debt. A report this morning on the Tribune says that every Nigerian is now owing, based on our total loan, 157,000 we are owing. Money that I did not use.
Let me take this call. Good morning, are you there?
The appointments.
Yeah.
Good morning, you're live.
Good morning.
Morning.
This is my first time calling.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I have been watching your show, and I want to really say sorry for your loss. I feel for you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, now, coming to your issue, what you are discussing about, it's a very nice topic. When I finished from a polytechnic where a lady was in charge of the affair, and she did extremely well, talking about Federal Poly Elective. Talking of Dr. Njoku, she really reformed the school, and many people, when they come back, they cannot even remember the school at the first place. Ladies are equally good in management. But please, don't forget, there are sometimes some ladies can be very cruel, and that is what many men are afraid of. You take a good look like a state like Taraba. This woman, Ma Taraba, I can't remember, former minister of woman affairs. So they refuse to give that woman the chance to rule that state. She's good, really, but from the way I had it, that they told her that a woman cannot rule that state. I don't know how true it is. So, coming again, Nigeria is not really as bad as what people think. Maybe we are not, we don't take, women don't represent. Look at Afghanistan, for an instance.
Why do we have to compare ourselves?
Thank you very much, Stephen. So I think, so we're just trying to have a wishful thinking conversation. It would be nice for us to consider a female president. Because, as you said, until you have the power, really, there's no power.
Yeah, that's why I was jumping on. Sorry, Miriam, on what Tokwe said. Even the one that comes by appointment, make sure that you do your
what
very
can you
best.
do? You're subject to your boss.
No,
you're subject to your boss.
This is it. You are advising your boss. You have seen the possible ways and other methods of doing things as against what your boss is insisting on. You've told your boss he did not hear. You resign. You publish the solutions.
Yes.
So the world, we sell ourselves. I resign. I'm no longer doing. I publish. These are the solutions I gave my boss. Another administration will sit, or people will then use that opportunity to sell yourself. People will then see the kind of thinking that you are capable of, and then give you the.
But if you're a patriot,
you will not
you don't want to leave because you know what? What can I do to fix the house?
And then you continue with the same system.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that point of view at all. I agree that I think Nigerians do not understand how powerful a resignation for the right cause can be. For you, for your integrity, and for whatever career you have right in front of you. It's saying that I have principles, and I'm abiding by my principles. And if, for any reason, I feel that it is being, what's the word now? Compromise. I would not be a part of it. You need to be able to stand for yourself, whether it pays you or not at the time. Because of, posterity, we need to, for me, I also don't think that it's like a brutish woman that we need for president. I do feel that a woman president would go a long way. But what we need a woman who is very well educated, well exposed, who's worked in different administrations or, maybe with international organizations. We need someone who already has built a network of professionals, of intelligent people, and has worked with these people
because
over
one man
time.
can do it.
Because you need that sort of support when you come into power. And then, for me, I feel that is the sort of person that will take us out of the situation that we're in now. Someone who understands what we need, understands where we are right now economically, security-wise, and is willing to put in the work and make the sacrifices.
I don't agree, but it's a good point. I don't agree because I feel that we forget that the huge population of our country is very poor. And we need people that can actually connect with the people. These nice, polished, well-exposed are your 1%, which is good for someone like you, because that person will lead you well. But we need somebody who will lead the market woman can say, you know what, this woman is here to help me lift me out of poverty.
I'm talking of the president. I'm talking of one person.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that everybody else around her has to be that. Has to be exactly the way that she is. She is the president. She is the one that can see the whole picture. She understands the economics that needs to take us out of it. She understands the numbers. She understands the funding. She understands the relationship, the foreign relations that we need to forge to, you know, to get the support of international organizations. A woman who is uneducated, who doesn't really have that exposure, may not be able to do that.
So
but to galvanize people, she would need to have a lot of people.
So I didn't say uneducated, but I do think that when you listen to them at the National Assembly, you know the kind of people that we have. If you understand the kind of the mixture of Nigerians that we have in that national, that tells you already the kind of leader you need.
Please, let me quickly talk to what Nima said about people. And I've sat on this side where I feel if the place is uncomfortable, resign and step out. And I've spoken to people in power, and I've realized that that resignation might be like the chicken way out. Sometimes you will sit down in the most uncomfortable place because you know if you live there, you are denying the opportunity to influence in the most subtle way. So there are people that are currently in this administration that they totally disagree with the way this country is going, and everybody's looking at them like, leave. But they look at it that if I leave, the person that will come here will be worse than me. So I must sit and I must fight in the most subtle way. It's a sacrifice on their own part. Even for the fact that their own integrity is being compromised, but they know that if they leave that seat, they are losing the opportunity to influence. So it's better for you to sit inside than for you to be talking from outside and say what they're doing is wrong. When you're inside, you can push. And I know it will not always agree. Some people will feel they should step out, but those that are sitting in, let's not judge them as that they are sold out.
So this is not judging. So I'll just quickly make an example of when subsidy removal was proposed by then Minister for Finance, Okoje-Iweala. The whole country didn't agree. But she saw that vision and she understand that this is not a woman that like all the big things.
Exactly.
She stood her ground. They compromised, went back to the table, and then they had these conferences held at long regions where she was selling the idea. Today, what are we asking for? Remove it already. So, see,
Remove it already.
People, you must have standards. I'd like to hear the present appointee of the president on that same seat. Do something extremely tough and tell us why we're still borrowing. Don't just tell us
we have to wrap up on this.
Tell us how we will
That's all we can take on this segment. But I think, obviously, the conversations are out there and there are different sides of the argument, which everything is very credible. Both sides of the arguments are quite credible. So I think we have to just see the best case for Nigeria. But either way, what we're saying in essence is that we must and begin to consider women for top position. And that's a sure way for us to see real changes, because you can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. Let's try a woman, I beg. Let's go on a break. We'll come back and move on to other hot topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.